Hi, everyone. I am so excited about today's episode. But before we jump in, I wanted to do a quick trademark refresher, mostly because a lot of creators and business owners still aren't sure what the benefit of a trademark is. So let's get into it. A trademark is more than just a name or a logo. It is legal protection for your brand. It helps your audience recognize you, trust your work, and most importantly, it gives you the exclusive right to use your brand in your specific industry. So whether you are a designer, a photographer, or a small business owner, trademarks can be a powerful tool to protect your brand. And today we are talking with one of our amazing clients who has gone through the process and is here to share his journey and what the process is like from the inside. We have Fif Wilson. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm blessed. Thanks for asking. How are you feeling?
I'm great. I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm more excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's jump straight into it. Tell us about your business. I know you're into photography, videography, but tell us a little bit about what you do and what your brand is about.
So thank you for giving me the platform. I do photography. We provide photography services as well as videography services and photo booth services. We do portraits, we service events, as well as commercials for businesses and whatever, the service might call for.
Okay. And what would you say inspired you to get into photography, videography in the first place?
Good question. I believe it was just passion. I just love doing it. That's why I got into it.
Okay. Let's talk about trademarks because that's why we are here.
Yeah.
What made you start thinking that I am at a place in my business where I really need to consider trademarking?
I guess I never realized how big of a brand my brand is. And I feel like things are just growing so rapidly. And I felt like, okay, you've got the legal side done. Why not do the whole 9 yard? Like, you've got the LLC. Why not just do the trademark as well? So that's why I was like, okay, let's do it.
So your specific moment, you would say, was, wow, my brand is big. Like, people are starting to recognize who I am.
Yes. So, I mean, as a photographer, I feel like people will always recognize who you are, right? But I mean, like, at the rate that the brand is growing, like, I felt as though there's going to be some people that want to be mini-me's. There's going to be some people that want to replicate what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, okay, in order for me to protect myself, I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's bound to happen at the rate that, God is blessing the business. So,
Amen. And you want to be proactive about it.
correct.
So let me ask you this. Before encountering NoParei Law, what was your understanding of trademarks and like how it worked?
I know nothing about trademark. I just, because I'm like, I believe there are people that specialize in various things, right? So when it came to trademarking, and I'm one person that I'd rather pay somebody that knows what they're doing and just
An
get
expert.
it done. Yeah, and I'll rather get an expert. Because I have so much stuff on my plate, I don't have time to figure it out, to this, to do that. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let's get a professional that knows what they're doing. And
Well, you made a good decision, if I say so myself. But so share with the audience what your specific experience with the whole trademarking process was. It was a year-long journey.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, how was that like from start to finish?
So I initially I thought it was just something you pay and then you're done. And then, but
As most people.
yeah, but you explained it to me that, hey, in this first couple of months, this is what's going to happen. And then, you kept me in the loop. You let me know that, hey, they actually responded. They need this. Sign this. Okay, and you was on top, because I'm forgetful. And you was on top of me like, hey, I need this by this time. And, so the year-long journey, I mean, it came faster than I expected. Like
Yeah.
I did it, took my mind off of it, and then boom, everything just fell in place. So
Yeah, because I think it took at least like 4 months before even an officer took a look at it. And
Yeah.
I tried to keep in contact with you about the
Yeah.
process of your application.
I don't think you tried. You actually did.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
At NoParei Law, we try our very best to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, I don't try. You do your very best.
Hey, contact us. Um, so, what part of the process do you think surprised you the most?
I think it was just like, I mean, you told me a year, but I know you behind the scenes, you were able to pull some strings. So it happened, I think a little under a year. It was about a year, but like, I think it was less
Yeah.
than a year. So
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, wow, already?
about
Yeah.
9, 10 months,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. So,
So that's what surprised you? The length of time that it takes for
how
the.
quickly y'all did it. That's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Tell us a bit more about now you owning your trademark, how it has become of value, the peace or, that you feel knowing that you are protected. Talk to us about that.
So I don't know if I can say this on camera, but I feel as though like right now that I know that I have legal protection, I'm at ease. If I see anybody trying to be like me, I'm just like, let them do it. You know what? I'm gonna call the lawyer and see, okay, how can we sue these people? So I'm
Cease
really
and
just like,
desist.
yeah, you know what I mean. So like, I'm actually at ease. I'm like, I want people to try. You know what I'm saying? It sounds bad, but that's really. I'm at ease. I'm not worried about what somebody else is gonna do, but I'm like, if they try, I want you to try.
Because you know that you can enforce your trademark
Exactly.
against them.
Exactly.
So moving on from enforcing trademark to how owning the trademark has created trust between your business and your clients. How has that been? How has you owning your trademark impacted like the flow of your business now?
So that's a good question. So I mean, for me, I'm really like I'm a moment like I mean, of course, people trust the business when they see the work, they see the reviews, they see they see the okay, he's a trusted individual, and but then now once I let them know like, hey, okay, cool, this is trademarked. It's like think of it as a seal, right? It's like an extra layer of not verification, but it's like an extra layer for the clients to know like, oh, okay, he's official.
Right. He's truly established. Yeah. So knowing that you have your trademark practically perpetually, outside of the 5-10 year renewals, which is a one-time renewal, and NoParei Law is going to help you with that. How does that make you feel in terms of even if you wanted to sell the business in the future or pass it down as to your kin, if anything was to happen? How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel great.
Yeah.
That, hey, you're covered.
Yeah, it's like protection.
Yeah.
Cut
Even
that
though-
out.
Even though, no, keep it in there. Even though a lot of things feel better without protection.
Oh my! See, I knew that's where it was going. That's why I said cut that out.
I want to
But
see
you know
that
what? Anyway, Fif Wilson, I have known you for a long time now.
How long?
Very long. Very long. Would you not agree?
No, I want to see if you know how long. That's what I'm asking. How long? You don't even know.
I would say a good maybe like 17 years.
17. That ain't.
No,
I was
yeah.
thinking like 15.
Okay. So I added 2 more. No, I think it's a good 17
Wow.
17 years.
Long time.
Yeah. And this is before I even went to law school. And I've seen you grow in your art, your craft. And I have to say, I'm so proud of you. I feel that I can always, every time I see your video, because it tells a story. It's so different. I can tell if I'm watching Fif's video without even knowing that it's a Fif video. And I'm interested in knowing how do these ideas come to you?
Well, thank you, first of all, for acknowledging my growth, and truly appreciate that. The ideas, honestly, I believe that, and I always say this, right? There's two important days in humans' lives. The day you're born, and can you guess when the second day is?
The
Not
day you find, no, the day you find out why.
Okay. Yeah. The
Yeah.
day you find your calling.
Right.
So I feel like for me, I've understood that this is my calling, right? I could literally be there and somebody could throw something at me and I'll be like, let's tell this story like this.
Wow. Okay.
So just because I feel like that's my calling. So if I was to tell you how I come up with them, I'd be lying. It's something that's just in me. Like I could just, okay, I think this should be told like this. Let's try it this way. And I always understood that anybody could take a picture. There's AI, but
Right.
the brains behind it will always beat anything that is ever to come or any competition, right? So, and I felt like storytelling has been something that I'm very good at, so I've tried to like connect the storytelling with my work,
Your art, yeah.
the art, and I feel like that's what makes it stand out.
That is amazing. Even hearing you talk about it, it means you're passionate about what you do. Now, talking about growth and re-emphasizing that you've come a long way, now we see that huge brands are also taking notice of you. I mean, you've worked with major brands, and how do you feel building up to where you are, and how do you feel being recognized by these brands? I mean, it tells me that you're respected in your industry, and so coupled with the fact that you are protected, you are established very well legally, and you are respected. How does all of that make you feel?
I'll be lying if I say it doesn't make me feel good. But I'm a very grounded individual, right? So I treat it as, all right, this is another project, just like the project you did yesterday, right? So I treat everything like it's a project.
Okay.
And even though I have contracts from major companies, or I treat it just like every other project. I'm like, okay, all right, it's an honor to be recognized by this person or this company or this brand. And I'm like, all right, how can we tell this? And, I feel like I've gotten to the point where, it's bad for me to say this, but I've gotten to a point where it's like, y'all need me, I don't need you.
That is like, confidence.
Yeah, so it's gotten to a point where, and like I said, I don't like to say that out loud, but it's like, hey, we want you to do this. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want. I want Jollof on the side. And they're like, oh, we can't give you that. I'm like, all right, let me know when you're ready to do it.
Okay, so I hear a bit of negotiation. You're confident in your negotiation skills. Tell us or walk us through what your emotions were like when you first got the email or the call from one of these major, TV stations to work with them. Yeah. How was that? How did you process it?
So initially, it's kind of hard to answer because everyone is different, right? Each one of those projects is different, but at first I'm in disbelief, right? Because I'm like, this is something I enjoy doing, right? I never did this because I want to get any recognition. I just do it because I love it, right? So one time I was having breakfast and I got a call, hey, BET wants you to, I'm like, huh, wait, what? Like me?
Amazing.
Like, okay. So it's like, it was a little bit of disbelief. And then I kind of sit there and I'm like, bro, your heartbreak is going on.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of denial, disbelief. And then after that, I do it. And then even when I do it, I still don't feel like that excitement that the average person would feel. And then even when I share it with the world, I still don't feel that. But then it's like maybe a couple months later, after it has sunk in and everyone has, then I sit there by myself, I'm like, yo, you really just did this. So it takes a while for it
and
to
you've seen your work.
Yeah.
So. I know you say that this is something you enjoy doing, but has what you do ever felt like work?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it feels like work, but it doesn't because I enjoy it. Right?
Okay.
Now, there's some projects that would feel like work, like if I am, let's say, events, right? I'm on my feet for a very long time. There's very little room of creativity, but at the same time, I'm still storytelling. So it's like, all right, cool. If I'm not being creative, let's storytell. But there's some stuff that I'm like, okay, I've been on my feet for so long, man. This is killing me, right? But I still enjoy it. I can still do it because I enjoy it.
It's not too much that it just feels tedious and you don't want to do it anymore.
No.
Wow. You're in the right career field. Like, this is your passion, like, truly. Okay. So as a creative yourself, do you think that other creatives really underestimate the legal side of business?
Of course.
In what way? Because I know you have a lot of creative friends. I think we've had conversations where after you got your trademark, you're like, oh, I think this friend should get a trademark, this friend should get a trademark, but their response hasn't been as serious, or it seems like they don't really truly see the value in trademarking. And that could flow over to other legal sides of business. Why do you think that is?
So I feel like here's how a lot of people think, right? A lot of people feel as though if they haven't needed it for this long, why would they need it now? But you got to keep in mind it's very shallow to think that way, right? Because you drive a car. It's the friends telling you, put on your seatbelt. It's like, yo, I've been driving for 10 years without a seatbelt. There's always going to be that one day something happens.
That's right.
And you're going to need that seatbelt to save your life, right? So that's how I look at trademarking. Or I look at any legal stuff. I'm just like, all right, there's going to be that one day trouble's going to come. And when it comes finding you, it might be too late. So it's better to protect yourself.
That's right. It's an investment. As a lawyer, I get this all the time when people come for a service and then I have to send the quote or the invoice. Then it's like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. But then I explain that you have to see this as an investment. Because truth be told, if you do it yourself or you don't do it, and something happens, I'll probably charge you double, triple to fix the problem or to fix that issue or to get it done right, you know? Another thing that I want to ask you is knowing what you know now, what would you tell your fellow creatives in regards to setting up themselves correctly, having an attorney really as a part? I always say this, as a human being, you should just have a doctor network, a lawyer network, and then obviously the spiritual part is very important. So a spiritual father, mother, whatever. What would you like to say to your fellow creatives about the legal side of business and why it's important?
I would say it's important for you to find somebody that knows or specializes in anything legally related to business, right? Only because a lot of creatives are good at creating, not good at doing
the business, operations.
And you want to set up your business in a way that, God forbid, something happens, or you didn't register it in the right code. It was registered as something else. But had you gotten the right person, it's like it might cost a lot, but it saves you the headache in the long run. It's like, so you mean to tell me this business that you're doing to generate all this money, if you invest this portion of it into getting the legal stuff taken care of, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you truly believe in your craft, do it.
Yeah, I love that. And I hope that they heard you when you said that.
Oh, they heard me loud and clear.
As you were speaking, I had another example, talking about cars and the seatbelt. We have insurance on our cars. Now, you don't use your insurance every day, but you and you have, your mind is at ease knowing that if something was to happen someday, you can depend on that insurance to cover for you, right? So You heard it from Fif. If you're a creator like him, get Trademark and have an attorney look over your contracts, establish you correctly, any other paperwork, negotiation. You just want to appear like you're serious about your craft, you're serious about what you're doing, and that's how other people take you seriously. So, Fif, anything else you want to share with us?
As far as what?
As far as business, as far as personal life?
I don't like to get personal. I always feel like the less people know, the better.
No.
Just so that way I can... Okay, so think of it this way.
Okay.
We all know... I don't know if I could talk about other people, but we all know Beyonce.
Okay.
Right? Now, if we saw Beyonce today, oh my God, that's Beyonce. We would like, everyone would like, at least for the most part, they'll be excited to see her. But if we keep seeing her, oh, Beyonce, I see her all the time. So, and that takes away from, not to say people don't respect her anymore, but they become too familiar. So that's why I try to like keep away from people. I don't
Restrict access to you.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I just don't like to be too familiar
Right.
amongst peoples, because then it's like they tend to not respect, but it's like they don't see you as
It's a familiarity thing.
So.
I understand that. I mean, I agree to a certain extent because I feel as though it depends on where you want to go with your business and your brand. A lot of the issues that people have with Beyonce is when it comes time to music, she's made a brand for herself, but then when she starts dabbling into hair care or perfume or whatever it is, people feel like they can't relate. And so I think that knowing when to grant access or restrict access really depends on what your strategy is in terms of what you want people to relate with you for, right? Because it's true. If people can't relate to you and your storytelling, people won't, if it's time to pick someone to tell their story, they won't come to you because they can't relate. So I agree to a certain extent. Do you mind closing us out with a fun fact about yourself that no one knows?
A fun fact that nobody knows.
Yeah.
If my mom knows, she doesn't count, right? But like,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
fine
a
if your
fun
mom
fact.
knows.
I gotta think like really hard about a fun fact that nobody knows. I have photographic memory, right? Like,
Okay.
a lot of people don't know that, but I real life could enter a room, leave, and I could know exactly like where everything was placed and staged. And even if you move something and tell me to come back, I'll tell you exactly what was moved. Like,
What?
Yeah, I have like it's that crazy.
A place you've never been before.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can just go in there for like 20 seconds, not even 20 seconds, just like instantly, and then leave, and then I'm like, all right.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I'm very observant.
I don't know what I was expecting your fun fact to be, but that's actually quite amazing.
Yeah, people,
Now I feel like
like
I should test it.
Don't touch
Maybe
that.
another time.
No, yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and it's something. It's actually kind of good, but it's like, just because, you know how like let's say like I'll use the studio for example. So like the studio has a unique look. So like when I walk in, I'm like, okay, cool. He has everything placed right here. We could walk out, and he's like, something looks different, and I'll tell him exactly. Okay, this was moved because this was here. Like I remember, like that's how my memory is.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I think I'm very observant too, but I don't think I observe that far.
It's photographic. It's
So,
like
yeah.
my mind takes a picture of it, and it's
So
like
you
it
just
stores
store it
Yeah.
and then pull it up
Yeah.
and then see everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fif Wilson,
Talk to me.
thank you so much
Thank you
for
for having me.
joining me and having a serious conversation about the values of Trademark. I am so happy that you are trademarked officially. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for using the firm.
Thank you.
And we hope to help you in your future legal endeavors,
Amen.
be your legal partner whenever you need us.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
for
very
having
welcome.
me as well too. And appreciate everything y'all have done too.
Thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And contact us if you need us at www.noparei.com.